Hello and welcome into tonight's race, Sonoma Raceway here in the All-American Cup Series, week number 7, I believe. Back again in the booth with my buddy Christian Taylor. How you doing tonight, Christian?
Doing good. Looking for some road racing action here tonight. We've been watching some great practice going on. We're about to wrap that up, getting the qualifying. I believe we have over 40 cars here. I think we take 43, so if we have over 43, someone's going home.
Yeah, there's a lot of people signed up tonight to get into this field, which is unusual for me when it comes to the iRacing road courses. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone does get eliminated from qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, got about 30 seconds left here in practice, and we're going to go ahead and be back with you shortly once qualifying gets going and we start seeing times on the board. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet, and stay tuned.
Do it now.
Yes, as he said, do it right now. Right now before the race starts. It only takes a second. Just do it. As people start to finish up their first lap, first time on the top of the board was Alex Penn in the 30. He's already been beat by the 3 of Justin Thompson, last week's winner. Lilith Peters in the 01 now, top of the board, 117.53. About 3 minutes left in qualifying here. No one able to take Peters off the top of the board. 117.53 holding strong. Still a few cars out on the track, though. We'll see if anyone can beat that time. And Robnet in the 09 getting ready to cross the stripe here. From what I can see, might be the final car qualifying, and he takes the pole spot. 117.26. Quick time for Robnet. Christian, I hear you're back. Welcome back as qualifying is getting ready to wrap up here. We got about 30 seconds left before we get to the grid. Do you have a certain driver you're keeping your eye on tonight?
I think, we're road course racing tonight. I haven't really brushed up on my road course ringers too much, but I think I'm gonna keep an eye on that 3 of Justin Thompson starting in the 3rd position.
Thompson's a good idea to keep an eye on. He won last week at Texas in a pretty dominant fashion, in my opinion. So we'll see if he can go back to back even. Be pretty cool to go back to back on Texas and then Sonoma. That really would showcase your talents as a driver.
Gonna have just a quick warm up, get these cars all tuned in and ready.
Yeah, I promise you folks, we'll be with you shortly for some racing. This will be the last little break before we get to the starting lineup. About a 2.5-minute warm-up session here, and we'll be back with you. All right, folks, warm-up has wrapped up as we get ready to do the first thing you got to do before you have a start to a race. You got to talk about the starting grid. Let's go through your starting lineup as soon as it shows it to me. Alrighty, are you ready, Christian, to run through this starting lineup here?
I'm ready when you are there, Jesse.
All right, starting on the pole, the 09, going to be Ken Robnett. To the outside on the front row is going to be Lilith Peters in the 01.
And row number 2, Justin Thompson in the 3 car. To his outside, Zachary Mertez in the 26.
Row number 3 kicks off with Alex Penn in the number 30 machine. To his outside, going to be Casey Carrington in the 9 car.
Row number 4, Curtis White in the 63. To his outside, Kyle Ether in the 8.
Row number 5 kicks off with the 21 car, Christopher Murphy. And to his, I've been saying the outside, it's a road course. I guess it's left and right. But anyways, next to him is going to be the 13, Walker McAnulty.
You know, we're oval guys usually, but anyway, row number 12. To the left or the right, you pick Stephen Miles in the 1 car, Logan Hamilton in the 7.
That's row number 6, Christian. I think you're delirious when it comes to these road courses. But anyways, row number 7, Elijah Cole in the 065 car. And next to him is going to be Christopher Heller Jr. in the 16.
Behind that row, Zach Rogers in the 4, Connor LaFrance in the 40.
Row number 9 going to be Steve Ritter in the 61 with Dylan Rosenberg, the Daytona winner, in the 91 next to him.
Row number 10, maybe, is James Silvers in the 11. My screen just went all fuzzy, but Justin Ray in the 38 next to him.
You almost nailed it. James Silver's in the 17, but row 11 is going to have Mauricio Montenegro out of Chile in the 12 car, and then Josh Dillon in the 18.
In the 23rd spot, Trevor McLaughlin in the 99, Aaron Claver in the 95.
Kicking off row 13 is going to be Chris Worrell in the 06 with Nick Terrell next to him in the 81.
In the 27th position, you have the 72 of Jeremy Flagan, and in the 22, Craig Martin.
Row number 15 has the 28 of Mitchell Mark and the 25 of Brandon Markuski.
Daniel Garox in the 92 and the 80 of Drew Farrell.
And you know what? These guys coming through the S's, if we didn't name your favorite driver, just as Blake always says, he's on vacation, of course, as you've probably realized by now, but if we didn't say your favorite driver's name, he's in the back, he's slow, and he's junk. Let's jump back out front. Ken Robnett going to lead the way through the hairpin. Let's get this music out of here as we're going to go green for the first time tonight. I'm excited to see some right turns here, Christian. I don't know if you are, but Ken Robnett going to lead them into the restart zone coming up. I'm so ready for it. Green flag is out for the first time here tonight at Sonoma. Robnett leading the way with Peters and Thompson there on your screen. Thompson going to make the pass already on Peters to move up into second. He is capitalizing early there.
I told you to keep an eye out on Thompson here tonight, moving into your second position, as Jesse just mentioned. Go ahead and start an early battle with Ken Robnett as they head into the next section of the course here.
Yeah, as mentioned before, Thompson won last week's race at Texas in pretty dominant fashion. So we'll have to see if he's got anything for Robnett tonight.
Keeping an eye out through the field right now. We just seem to be, you know, our leaders are singling fouling out a little bit, but we have a cluster going into that turn right there. Keeping it clean and green currently, though.
Go back a little bit. We got the one of Stephen Miles here on the screen. He's kind of in no man's land. A little bit of a battle right behind him here between Kyle Ethier and the 065 of Elijah Cole. Ethier kind of dropping back, letting some guys by here, as we might have had some contact there with the 7. It was kind of hard to see at that angle, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've seen a few door paint traded a little bit, but we're still clean and green as we're going through the hairpin for the first time here. See if everybody makes it through okay. No one's going to get shot. Looks like somebody's already... Oh, we got a wreck in the hairpin. The 95 involved.
95 car involved. Aaron Clayball.
Yeah.
He's getting it back going. Let's see if we can potentially go back and look at that. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
Well, mainly they just got together. I didn't really see who all was involved. He went around. You see that for some
Let's
nose
see if we
damage.
got a replay here. Let's take a look.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, just a stack up 81 just kind of turns him right into the tires there. A couple other guys get involved. Unfortunate for the 95. He's still keeping it going, though.
Hopefully, you know, his Aflac insurance is going to cover some, you know, damages there.
Yeah, hopefully so. Robnett out to about a second lead over Thompson. Lilith Peters still holding down the third spot. Zachary Mertez in the fourth. Alex Penn in fifth. Not a whole lot of position changes that I've noticed up here in the front as of recent.
We're going through the hairpin again. I'm just watching, keeping an eye out, making sure everybody gets through there okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they do.
Keep an eye out for any interesting things going on. I have a report that the Chris Worrell crashed in the 06 car. If you see that, let me know, Christian. We'll go back and take a look at that replay. But right now, we're going to stay live here. As Justin Thompson tries to make some gains on the 09 of Robnett. He set the best lap of the race last lap with a 1:17.75. He's flying right now, trying to catch that 09 car.
Looks like Daniel Garox and Chris Worrell just got together coming out of the hairpin. Everyone's rolling. Maybe some hurt feelings, but nothing else.
Man, it's been 3 laps. I mean, that hairpin sounding sketchy already. We've had some door banging and such going into that hairpin already twice now, and as we go into it for the 3rd time, look at Justin Thompson late on the brakes, locked
Oh,
it up a
wow.
little bit, but he gained some time there, it looked like, on the 09.
Looks like he's using that hairpin turn as the place to, make up the time. But then right away, Robnet just flies away. If you go into the turn too hard, you lose all your time on exit.
Yeah, so we got a side-by-side battle, it looks like, between the 26 of Mertes and the 30 of Penn here. Who's going to win out? Penn with the ideal line. He's going to be able to cover that spot up. The 26 not going to be able to make the pass on the 30.
Look at that 30 car, man. Looks like they just pieced it together with parts at the race junkyard. They made it out here to Sonoma, though.
Well, you know what that looks like to me, Christian? It looks like somebody opened up a paint file and then just used the paint bucket on each little piece of the car and then just hit export. And that's what they ended up with.
We're still racing, though. 4 laps into this 55-lap race. We're not going to be throwing cautions for, single car spins. It would take a full course blockage for there to be a caution here tonight. Just keep an eye out for it, though.
Robnan seems to be the fastest guy in the field, setting the fastest lap of the race with a 117.17 last time around. I think he might start running away with this thing here. He seems to be the quickest guy tonight, in my opinion at least. I haven't seen anybody being able to compete with the 09's times, and he's got the cleanest air you can have right now.
Lap in, lap out, turning the fastest lap each. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. He is the fastest each lap so far. So, as Jesse was saying, he might be checked out already.
Yeah, we're only 5 laps in, and he's the only driver to run a 1.17 second lap that last time. Quick for the 09 of Robnet.
Ken Robnet, I actually talked to him before the race. You know who he was texting, getting some tips?
Who's that?
He was texting Shane Van Gisbergen himself.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I mean, it's clearly paying off. We watched SVG win a stage after pitting in real life, so if you get tips from that guy, they've got to be pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, he actually said that they hung out last night, drinking some of the Sonoma wine, and got some tips, saw some pointers. So Ken Robnet on that SVG energy, he is not going to be stopped here tonight. You know what? I was dumb not to pick him as my race winner.
Yeah, I don't even think we picked race winners, to be honest with you. I think if I had to pick one, though, 6 laps in, it's Robnet's race to lose, I think.
Though, a long time to go. Anything could happen here. It's Casey Carrington on the screen. Actually, your admin of the league, too, so he's the reason all this goes on day in and day out. Casey Carrington in that Chevrolet 9 car.
Go ahead and
Enzo
ride on
synthetic
board with
oil.
Carrington. See what it's like to take some laps around this track here. I've never driven the Gen 4 car at this track. I almost thought this race would be really fun to run. I do enjoy a good road course. Blake being on vacation ended up with me in the booth, though. I see your wonderful wife, Danielle, in the chat there, saying welcome to Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Thank you, Danielle. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't.
I still can't believe that woman puts up with me, Jesse.
I don't know how she does it. I barely can, so good for her. Dealing with you even more than I do.
Casey Carrington going into the hairpin. We rode almost a whole lap with Casey Carrington there. Keep an eye on him throughout the race.
As you see, the 81
Nick
and Nick
Terrell.
Terrell, he's slow. He came off the track. I had to double check, see what was going on with him. Let's rewind it here and see if we can see what happened.
While we're rewinding, if you're going to run that paint, you're going to have to do it right. That ain't doing it right. Well, I guess kind of lost him there mid-spin.
Yeah, unfortunately, on a big track like this, timing and scoring is all over the place with this many cars. It's hard to tell who is where. And hopefully, whenever something does happen and we can get a replay of it, we'll be able to show you. But there's going to be a lot of that tonight, 7 laps in. If you look at the tower on your left side, it's jumping everywhere. That's just unfortunately nothing I can really do about that with this big of a track and this many drivers.
See the 24 car going down pit road.
Dominic Russo, Drew Prohl went off track here. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. This is so frustrating to try to operate here. As you see Steve Ritter in the 61 just going through the dirt, doing a little mudding in his Ford Taurus there. Got back on the track, no issues though.
You know, these are race cars, not really off-road machines.
You've got a good point there, Christian. As we're 8 laps in, though, we're going to go ahead and take our first break under green flag racing of the night. We'll be back with you shortly. If you're out there, hit the like and subscribe button. We got 32 folks watching here. Make sure we can get close to 32 likes on this stream. It'd be really important, really helpful for us. Check out the links in the description. We got stuff down there like Discord, Facebook, what have you. Check it out. We'll be back with you shortly here for some more Sonoma action. Back live here at Sonoma Raceway for the All-American Cup Series. We have a little bit of a change up in the leaderboard. Alex Penn in the 30s made his way up into the second spot, getting by Lilith Peters and Justin Thompson. Zachary Merites holding down the 5th spot, the last spot in the top 5 out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. But Ken Robnett still the man to beat, still setting the quickest times on the board, starting to run away with this thing, Christian.
He's definitely getting to run away. I did see Alex Penn for a 1 lap only beat uh, Rob Nett in lap time. The very next lap, Zach Martez won that battle. But however, Rob Nett, I guess, got a radio signal that he was getting beat. Oh, get on Conor LaFrance. We got a car stopped in the middle of the track. He's in the 14th position. He's rolling now. Okay. He just had a spin out there. We want to go ahead and rewind and see maybe what happened.
Let's see if we can get it on the screen.
91
here.
around. 91 was just going around in the background too. Oh, we had a collision.
Unfortunately, not going to be able to load it here.
Well, get on the 91 and let it play if you can. Because the 91 goes around and we had a collision after that.
That would be Dylan Rossenberg there in the 91.
Yep. Just keep an eye on this right here. If something happens in the background, the 58 and the 61 gets hard hit. By the is that the 87? It looks like.
Yeah, Steve Ritter going around. Of course, we lost it on the screen, but let's see if we can see a better look at what happened here. Just cooking it into the corner. He thought he was on the inside 61. Of the 58 and just did not. The 58 kind of self-cleared himself there.
I don't know if the 61 was going to make that turn either, though, was he?
He was certainly trying to. He was definitely trying to get that pass done, but the 58 either didn't know he was there or didn't want him to make the pass, one of the two.
I understand. Folks, we need to apologize one time. It is out of our control. You see our, scoreboard over there having a seizure. Carrington is not your race leader right now. Rob Nett is. That wasn't planned. That's just how it's fading out right now.
You see Justin Thompson and Lola Peters getting by the lap car there. This is turning into a bit of an interesting race between these two for third and fourth. Robnett's kind of in no man's land. Alex Penn has gained a little bit, but nothing to write home about. But Peters and Thompson keeping it close here 13 laps in.
One thing I want to talk about, being, this is an action-packed race and we can't get a word in. The hairpin in Sonoma, those walls, are we for the walls or against the walls, Jesse?
I have mixed reaction on the hairpin wall. Because, all my life, you're used to it being, the tire barrier. So in your mind, you're like, oh, Sonoma hairpin, it's tires. And now in real life, I guess they put up the walls and it's kind of just like, it takes away the opportunity for anyone to really just smoke a stack of tires, which is what we, secretly all really root for anyways.
Yeah. You got that wall. I think it kind of hurts the appeal of the track, like you said, the historical value. And, while we're on the road course topic too, a little bit of NASCAR news you may not have heard. Next year, 2026 Cup schedule, tidbits are being released here and there. We are not going to Mexico City next year. Possibly 2027. We are not going to Chicago Street Course. That was confirmed. We might be going back to Chicagoland, which that's pretty interesting, as long as we can replace the second road course date. But the first one was replaced with San Diego Street Course. We're going to be racing at a Navy base.
That's definitely going to be something new to get used to. Racing at a naval base. They did it apparently back in the 50s from what I understand, but excited to see it happen in 2026.
I can't wait for that track to be on iRacing, or maybe we'll get an update to Chicagoland too.
Absolutely. I see Cecil Hawks in the chat. Just got my phone charged. What's going on with the outs? I don't think there's... From what I can see, I don't know if anyone's quite out of this race at the moment. There might be a few people on pit lane with damage, something like that. But with timing and scoring at this track with this many cars, it's hard to tell exactly what's happening. We'll do our best to keep you informed, though.
If I say the wrong thing, don't crucify me. But just a last place breakdown. Daniel Garax is 7 laps down currently. He's in the 41st position. Daniel Legowski is 7 laps down. He's in the 39 car. And then last one I'm going to mention is 6 laps down. Brad Delp in the 14 car. That's your 39, 40, and 41st position.
Go ahead and look at Alex Penn here. I've noticed the gaps start to shrink. whenever it comes to the 09 of Ken Robnett. Let's see if we can look at the lap time history. You can see Alex Penn gaining 5/10 lap 11, about a 10th lap 12, a little over a 10th lap 13, and lap 14 gained almost a whole second on our leader. He's gaining a lot of time right now on Robnett.
Either Robnett has, slowed down due to strategy, or he's just drove the tires off of it. One of the two has happened. Penn is making a mad dash to your race leader here on lap 15.
As we ride on board, we'll see if he has him in his sights at all. I'm sure he's one of those cars up there. He is wheeling that thing, Alex Penn in the 30. That wheel is all over the place, but he's getting it done as we got somebody going to the pit road. It's Robnett. Sorry about that, folks. We go on board with Robnett here. Making his way down pit road. He's the first to come in. I think Alex Penn followed him right behind. Yes, he did. Staying with the same strategy as the leader. Probably a smart move. He's going to let the 3-car Justin Thompson take over the race leading some laps here for the 3-car. I noticed another name I don't see up near the front here is Lilith Peters. May have come down pit road ahead of these other drivers, and I must have missed it.
Gonna get some race-led laps in. Justin Thomas in the 3-car from Fairmount, Georgia. He's got all of his sponsors, it looks like, right there on his description. It's almost off of our screen there.
I've got a report Jeremy Flanagan may have crashed here. Let's take a look at the 72. Yeah, he's around in the hairpin, getting it back going. Let's see if we can see anything here if we rewind on that 72 car.
Oh, 24 sent him around? What happened? Oh,
no.
He hit the tire barrier. See? We talked about that.
He was just flirting with that tire barrier. Got a little bit close. As we go back live, I'm seeing now that the Daniel DeGuerreau may have crashed. He's just taking it slow. He's a lap car. I think you said he's, I don't know how many laps down you said, but he's just trying to stay out of everybody's way right now. Out of Bozeman, Montana. Daniel DeGuerreau, not a big fan of turning right from what I can see.
Nope, he is slow out there. He's just out for a Sunday drive here on a Thursday night at Sonoma.
Let's see if we can find who might be the leader right now. Justin Thompson coming out of pit lane. Is Curtis White our de facto race leader right now? Not positive. His timing and scoring's all over the place with people pitting. As soon as we can figure out who the actual race leader is, we'll let you know.
According to my screen here, which is a different program than Jesse run, they agree Curtis White is your race leader. Really trying not to get junked this week, as he says. But, he probably is going to be. Oh, Nick Terrell has some damage in the hairpin, possibly. Did you see that report?
I did not. Let's see if we can find him here.
Maybe not. I mean, I saw a bumper flying. It might not have been his. It's still attached, but you know how iRacing can be sometimes.
Yeah, Nick Terrell in the 81 out of Charleston, South Carolina. I don't know how many good wrench schemes are in this league, but it feels like a ton of them, and there's a few Carl Edwards ones as well, as you see the 99 of Trevor McLaughlin out of Oakville, Ontario, the Canadian here in the Office Depot 99.
We're gonna if you keep running these schemes, if you win in a Carl Edwards paint scheme, you will be required to submit a video of you doing the backflip. If you can't do a backflip, well, guess you can't run that scheme no more. Sorry.
And another paint scheme you think of when you think of this era of car right there, the Interstate Batteries number 18, Josh Dillon out of York, PA, representing Bobby Labonte there in the 18.
Dylan Rosenberg doing some off-road action, gets back on the track right there in front of the 18.
See if we can find the 09 of Ken Robnett. Looks like he's hopped back up to the race lead according to my scoring here. Ethier in the 8 car in second has not come down pit road yet. Penn already by him.
We had an incident in the hairpin between the 24 car and the 19 car of the Steven Melnick.
Oh, where's he going, buddy? You can't park there, Steve. That car is blown
he's
up.
all over the place. He actually turned in the hairpin. He turned in front of the 24 car.
Hey, you can't park there, Steve. Oh my gosh. What in the world?
I'm glad he towed.
Let's go back and see if we got a replay here in the hairpin.
Yeah, see the 24 car coming up there, the Jeff Gordon car. Keep an eye out as he goes out wide and cuts in close, and then wham!
Oh my gosh.
Sends him on around.
The Rainbow Warrior takes out the 19 of Melnick, and then after that, Melnick decides he's over this race. He's just gonna park it. See him sitting there on
that
pit
car
lane.
Is young.
It absolutely is, as Robnick continues to lead. Good pit cycle, I believe, for Robnick. The gap up to about 6 seconds now over Alex Penn in the 30 car. Justin Thompson taking back the third spot over Lilith Peters, although those two are still quite close on the track.
51, and Dominic Russo was a mile off the track there. He took the name slipped my mind there. The line he took. Who's the car that went so far off the track right there in the same spot?
That'd be Dominic Russo there in the 51, getting it back going. Going back live
Ryan
here.
Blaney. Ryan Blaney did that there in the Sonoma race, didn't he?
I think he did. I kind of forgot all about that, to be honest.
Yep, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of his name at the time. My brain went blank.
Connor Gerard in the chat saying 19 is done. He is done. Yes, he is. He is over it. He's had enough of the turning right here at Sonoma. I could relate. The first time I raced this track, I was like, Jesus, why is this so difficult? But you really got to play with the throttle pedal. You can't just floor it here. You'll just spin out. You got to be careful with the throttle and just try to be smooth as fast.
Looks like this pit cycle has cycled through. We got somebody complaining on the radio right now. The 58 of Carlos Steele. Oh, there was a multi-car incident.
Let's see if we can see the 51 here. Oh my God! Clears himself onto the track. The 58.
Dude, you just gonna drive straight onto a hot racetrack like that. That was terrible. Oh my.
Carlos Steele, let's see if we can go back here. Check out what happened to the 58. Wrong replay. Here we go. Yeah, just the 51 trying to come back on the track. Takes out the 58 and the 12. That is unfortunate for those drivers. 58's going to park it.
He says in the chat, sorry, I didn't see you. My bad, 58. Definitely.
Aaron Clayball in the 95 there getting back on the track. He had himself a little bit of an incident. I'm telling you, there may not be any yellows here tonight, but it is still some interesting racing as long as we can keep our eyes on it.
Ken Rob Net was like if the scoring's right before it disappeared, he's almost a 5-second lead right now. Not the fastest car on the track that last time around, though. Alex Penn still putting down laps faster than him.
It almost makes you start to wonder what potentially could have happened if Alex Penn would have been able to start on the front row with Robnett, if he would have had the clean air immediately, if he could have really challenged for this race win. Aaron Clayball in the 95 apparently went off track again, managed to get going. He's multiple laps down at this point, I believe, so he's just trying to log laps. He's only in 24th, though. He could be on the lead lap. I'm not 100% positive, but I doubt it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not subscribed right now, what are you even doing? I'm going to just test to see how long it takes. one. See, 1 second. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. I see a few people in the chat haven't subscribed already. Get it done. Also hit that like button while you're at it. Really helps us out here at Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Get in the Discord too. That's where you're going to see our coming events. Got some fun figure 8 action happening at Slinger soon. $5 entry. We have a prize for that race too. I'm not going to tell you too many details. Go find out for yourself on the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. Join the Discord. That's the place to go. That's the place to be. A lot of cool stuff happening in there. And showing you on the screen here our broadcast schedule. Of course, tonight's Gen 4s at Sonoma in the All-American Cup Series. Coming at you Tuesday, it's going to be the Stars and Stripes League in the ARCA cars at Homestead, Miami. That's sure to be a fun race. After that, it's going to be ARCA cars once again at Old Atlanta in the Superstar ARCA West Series. So lots of good races coming up. Make sure to check them out. Getting reports of Daniel Garreau crashing again. Let's see if we got a replay of it here.
Gets airborne and slides it on across the track, saves it off the wall, but definitely doing some off-road racing, doing donuts like he won the race.
Yeah,
Your race winner is not Daniel Garreau.
It's not Daniel Garreau. Doing a little bit of celebration, as you were saying there. He just hit that rumble strip so hard that he didn't have a chance of saving that thing. As we hop back out front with Ken, Rob, Nett, Alex
Don't
Penn.
ask me who it was, but do you remember that car doing the same airborne and ended up barrel rolling right there at this track? Same corner, actually.
There's all sorts of stuff that's happened at Sonoma that I can't remember. Random memory that popped into my head about Sonoma. I know there was a race here, I believe, where Martin Truex Jr. was possibly leading on the final lap and run out of gas. Is that true, or is that Watkins Glen?
I think it happened here. I could be wrong.
We don't know anything we're talking about. I don't know how we managed to have 30 people watching this stream right now. It's honestly quite incredible. There's probably so many better things you could be doing, but we do appreciate you coming out and checking us out. As Daniel Garreau crashed again. Let's see if we got it live here. Did he do the same thing again? No, he made it through that time fine. Is it the next corner? Yeah, locks him up and just decides he's going to go the scenic route through the corner. Not sure what that one was about. Oh, and he lost it. Yeah, the race is certainly falling apart for the 92 of Garreau. Quite unfortunate.
Look at our race leader go, keeping his comfort, a 6-second lead, and even past that, he's practically, unless he wrecks, he's almost guaranteed at least second place. Is 16 seconds back is the next person of Peters.
Yeah, as we take a look at second place, Alex Penn out of Burlington, Connecticut. Driver of Fast Things. He is trying his best to be a driver of a fast car here tonight. That 30 car running in second. He's been faster than Robnett at points. He just hasn't really had the track position early to capitalize on it, and he seemed to have lost a lot of time coming into pit lane. I feel like the lead was down to 3 seconds or so before pit stops, and once they came back out, it was over 6. So maybe we'll see if he can kind of get that back. Do you think he was about to hit the wall there, Christian?
I had a reaction, I promise you that. That would have been a signed, sealed, and deliver win for, again, Robnett.
Got a report here, Kyle Hall crashing. Let's see if we've got anything. The 32 car Kyle Hall out of Daytona Beach. This is a famous corner here tonight. Yeah, he just hits the rumble strips, lost it hard in the tires. Bumper falls off about 2 seconds later. Let's see if he clears himself or if he enters safely here. He does. Good job out of the 32. Could have just floored it in reverse back up the track and destroyed a couple cars, but he decided not to do that. And we'll hop to Daniel Garreau once again. The 92's luck not getting any better. It says he's crashed again. Might not have crashed, may just be letting people by here.
You know, props to him, though, for not just quitting and giving up. He came out here and ran this race. You know, good job. That's the most you could do. You got to get some points because you're going to let everybody else junk it. Just keep on poting around. You'll bring home some points.
This is a 145 in the chat being my fact checker. This is the track Truex ran out of gas. So, see, I think so. I think that was just a seed planted randomly in my head that just found its way to the surface just then. Kind of glad I got it right. Cecil Hawks saying in the chat, burn it up, Kaiju Cats. I'm pretty sure that's one of the teams out here. I'm not sure the drivers, but hopefully they're doing well as Dylan Rossenberg has went off track. Let's see if we got a clip of that. The missile from last week in the 91 out of Bath, Pennsylvania. Just overshoots the corner a little bit. No harm, no foul. The 22 might have pooped himself a little bit in the Julio's car, but everything is all well there. Oh, no, it's not all well. He crashed in the hairpin.
He's going to run his race in reverse. Oh,
yeah.
My.
Doing his best Kyle Busch impression there, going backwards.
That car is junk.
It is Rossenberg in the 91. Just burning it down right now. He said he's done with this race. He's going to burn the tires off of it, and according to my scoring, he's going to jump to pits. He's gone.
Oh, my.
The 91 is over this racetrack today, as a lot of people are. Lilith Peters in the 01 car. She's holding down that third spot over Justin Thompson. Zachary Mertes kind of throwing his name back in the hat. He was up here early, kind of fell back a little bit, but now he's challenging for this fourth spot. He's right on the bumper of the 3 car. We might see it pass for position near the front here for the first time in probably about 20 laps.
For the first time in forever, we're getting some battling here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV.
You know, out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, for Zachary Mertes, we're some North Carolinians ourselves. I've never been to Wake Forest. I've heard it's pretty nice, but Mertes trying to make a pass in the hairpin doesn't work out. There's a little part of my brain, I think it's an intrusive thought when you're coming to the hairpin in Sonoma where you go like, what's the worst that'll happen if I just don't hit the brakes and just plow through this guy? Do you ever have that? Or is that just me?
Yeah. I mean, I do it in regular traffic, not in a race car on a simulator, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Christian Taylor I will say he doesn't anymore, but he used to fulfill the Dodge Ram driver stereotype. I remember riding with him one time. We were trying to merge into traffic, and he literally said, "Oh, they'll move."
Yeah, they sure will. I mean, why
you weren't wrong. They did move. I mean, they didn't hit you.
My truck was a big bright blue. It was a 2017, excuse me. That's my current, I was 2020. Ram 1500 on 37s. You couldn't miss it going down the road. So yes, if you saw it, you were getting out of its way.
It was certainly the Ram 1500 Compensator Edition as Thompson challenging for the third spot now over Peters. Might give Mertes the spot to slip in there and make the pass, but not going to do it. Thompson to the inside of Peters now, though. He's going to take that spot over, get back in the third spot here.
You know, this is an intense battle.
These three guys, we're over halfway now, and for these three drivers to be being able to throw a blanket over them this late in a road course race on iRacing is really, really impressive in my opinion. You don't see this often. Usually everybody kind of gets spread out, and it's similar to the lead situation right now. We're robbing at 7 seconds.
You know what's not impressive?
What's
you know what's not impressive, Jesse? All this green flag racing. I'm sick of it.
Oh my gosh. What in the world?
That's right. I just threw the caution. Caution is out here at Sonoma.
Christian,
ladies and gentlemen.
Are you okay right now? This is a little unhinged, buddy.
You know what? I am unhinged. I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your schedule, not schedule. It was scheduled to happen randomly.
Sort of scheduled.
I was given the task to, pick a lap number. I had some guidelines to follow. This falls within the guidelines I was given. Just gonna shake this up, bunch the field up. We're gonna have some racing action here.
Can I be completely honest with you for a second?
What's that?
So I knew this was. I didn't know what lap this was going to happen. I wanted to be. What is it in wrestling? What's the term? Is it kayfabe? Like, is that what I'm looking for? Like,
I don't know. Something like that.
I didn't want to know about it. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't want to know when. But throughout the first 25 laps of this race, I completely forgot this was going to happen. So when you started yelling about a caution, there was a split second where I was very confused, and then I was like, oh, this is actually going to be amazing. We might get to see the battle for the lead that we've been wanting for 20 laps.
I just wanted to throw in a little action. I bet I confused some people in the chat. Let me know how that was, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit the like and subscribe buttons while we're out there. The first and only yeller likely for tonight is Ken Robnett. I'm assuming going to lead the field in the pit lane here. There's going to be a few guys that try to stay out. They could be trying to get laps back. Who knows? But I know for sure one thing, Robnett, Penn coming down pit lane. Thompson, Peters, Mertes, White, Carrington, Hamilton all coming down pit lane here as we'll keep an eye on this 09 car.
iRacing went ahead and opened the pits, and not everybody had caught up. That's unfortunate for some of the people towards the back, or not towards the back, but that was further away from your race leader. Not going to be able to do any jumping on pit road. Very unfortunate.
I'd say it's a blessing and a curse. It looks like right sides only for Robnett, and maybe just fuel only. That was a quick stop. That was only 8.5 seconds there for Robnett. Alex Penn taking 4 tires, as well as Lilith Peters, Justin Thompson. Basically everybody but Ken Robnett taking 4 tires. This could be unfortunate for the 09. We'll see if the tire fall off is that important, but that's a strange call in my opinion.
Just a little bit of a fill-in. Y'all can't hear the radio at home. Race control asked who wants to claim that caution. I had to be the claim. I'm the one who threw it. It was because of me.
That is fair. You do have to claim it. You did throw it. Let's go ahead and try to hit on some names that we haven't touched on a whole lot tonight. Haven't heard a lot of Walker McNulty out of Concord, North Carolina, in the number 13 car. I remember seeing him in the Discord earlier talking about making this paint for tonight. It's supposed to be 2000's Robbie Gordon at Sonoma. Sharp looking ride there for Walker McNulty.
It is.
Anybody out there in the field you want to touch on, Christian?
Not that it comes to mind right away,
How about Mitchell Martin, 28 car, Lockheed Martin out of Chicago? Back here in 22nd, according to my scoring, which is probably wrong.
Alright, so we have delayed the yellow due to waiver rounds happening in front of our race leader.
That makes a lot of sense. It's got, usually, even at a normal track, sometimes people dilly-dally on the waiver rounds, and you might not catch the field in time. Imagine that at a road course.
Yep, it happened. It's happened to me before. It led to I was kind of, relying on that waiver round to get back into the action because I had an early spin, but was doing pretty good on times. But it about halfway through the lap, they went green racing. So.
Well, seeing as we've got about a lap and a half before we go green, let's go ahead with 23 laps to go. Take another break here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so. 33 people watching. We need to have at least 20 likes on that button. Tell your friends about us. Join the Discord. Do all the cool things. We do appreciate it. We'll be back with you here in a couple minutes. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Back live from Sonoma, getting ready to have our second and possibly final, probably final restart of the night. We've got a brand new front row here. Ken Robnett and Alex Penn. Robnett strangely on 2 tires. Penn and the rest of the field taking 4 tires. Christian, how do you think that decision is going to work out for the 09?
It just depends on, how confident he was on saving those tires. If he did it, he obviously felt a certain way after his last pit stop. So
I almost wonder what drove the 09 to make that decision. Did he think other people were going to take 2 and try to get the track position when knowing they're not the fastest cars out there?
What if he came into the pits and, saw that his wear wasn't that much? But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, as we come back to the restart zone, that we're at a road course, I don't think that exists. He's gone. Green flag is out.
He put the pedal to the metal. I was like, is that even legal? We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I haven't heard any complaints yet.
I don't know about league rules, but in iRacing, that is 100% legal if there's no restart zone on the track.
If I'm Alex Penn out of Burlington, Connecticut right now, I might be a little bit pissed off because I got caught sleeping on that restart. I mean, almost a second gap Robnett has just off of green flag, just dropping the hammer. Let's go back here to Zachary Mertez holding off Lilith Peters. Looks to be Curtis White there. We're almost 3 wide here. Casey Carrington getting involved in that little kerfluffle. Everybody keeping it clean somehow.
I think Casey Carrington's trying to make a run here. He says it's go time.
Yeah, Carrington, no road course slouch, has a win at Road America, I believe, a couple of seasons ago. So the 9 car does have some speed when it involves turning right.
See if they get around the hairpin good here live.
Carrington went a little wide there. He's going to lose some spots. Oh, and he gets in the 01 and turns her. Saves it.
Oh, man.
That got sketchy.
That was close.
That one caught it live. First thing we've caught live that was interesting all night, it feels like. Thank you, Casey.
He had to slam on brakes there to save from spinning her on around, though, and does, thankfully.
And look at Zach Rogers and Steven Miles right here in front of Carrington side by side racing between the 1 and the 4 car. Getting a little interesting. Rogers going to have that 10th spot.
Steven Miles won the first race of this season. I thought we were going to see more out of him. I mean, of course, it was a speedway. You never really know how that fares, but he's had some unfortunate luck. You know, gets taken out of a few of them. Last week got hit by an absolute missile.
Hold on. Blake did the same thing. Stop disrespecting my man Dylan Rosenberg right here in the Valvoline car. He's the winner at Daytona. He won week 1. Stephen Miles in the 1 car won week 2.
Okay, my bad.
Get it straight. Get your facts straight. We're all about the facts here on HMS TV.
You know, I'll do better next time, Jesse. Dag, you hurt my feelings now.
It's like you weren't even there or something, man. Like how you forgetting that? Come on now.
You know what? I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. Like my wife tells me, God don't like ugly, and my next comment was gonna be ugly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, keep it clean as we see Alex Penn trying to keep this battle clean with Ken Robnett. I think this 4 tires might be starting to pay off here for the 30 car because the gap was pretty big there off the restart, but it's getting shrinked right now. Any moment, Alex Penn could be trying to make a move to get the race lead for the first time tonight.
Look at that go. 30. Trying to sneak his nose to the inside.
Not going to win any paint awards, but he could win this race here.
Yep.
Just don't give it.
See what he does
don't
here.
do it dirty. Don't give the 09 the bumper. 09 goes to pit lane. I guess they do have to make one more stop tonight.
That was not expected.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a good call. Like I said, with the fuel window, there is going to have to be one more stop for fuel. So, Robnett not throwing off his own strategy here. It's just a little interesting to see what he's going to do. Is he going to take fresh tires here, 4 tires, or is he going to try some other strategy?
I mean, a battle for the lead takes an unexpected turn there. Let's see. Right sides are up. Left sides, your race leader has 4 fresh tires to go out there and build a gap now. Let's see what he could do. We'll keep an eye on him as the race goes on. He'll be back in the race lead, assuming everybody else has to pit. Connor Garrett in chat says, keep your eye on the 3, though. He may have a chance. He's a Justin Thompson fan, folks.
Yeah, Justin Thompson, if you tuned in last week with Blake in the booth solo, Justin Thompson, dominant performance at Texas. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost certain he led well over half of the laps of the race. It was really just the 3 and the 9 of Carrington battling that entire race, and Justin Thompson able to come out on top.
You know, I'm going to be careful not to mention any more race history tonight because Jesse is ready to jump down my throat if I'm wrong.
I'm a bit of a historian as of late, trying to build a database of results, stats, all sorts of stuff for these leagues, so it's easier to pull little tidbits of information just out of my ass as quick as I can, trying to keep it on the tip of my tongue the best I can to remember it.
Alex Penn, your race leader. He's a go-kart driver and an SCCA licensed racer. Jesse, what is SCCA?
I do not have a clue. I'm assuming one of the C's stands for car. That's about I get. Maybe sports car championship, something.
Association?
Maybe we can get a fact checker in the chat. Somebody hit the Google.
Chat. You know, somebody's welcome to say the right thing, but I want to get wrong answers only in the chat. What does SCCA stand for? Wrong answers only, please. But if you know for sure, tell us, because I am interested.
Well, see, Christian, the problem is now, how are we supposed to know which one's the right one? Because you've asked for wrong answers and right answers. Who do we believe? Did you even think about that?
Parentheses. They got to put it in parentheses that this is the right for sure. Like, I promise. This is. You know what, Jesse? You're on my case tonight. You're making me pull my hair out. Something that you can't do.
That was good as we see the 06 Aurora slowing down enough in the hairpin to make my thing think he crashed, but the '06 car is fine, just dilly-dallying around out there. Sports Car Club
Daniel?
of America, Danielle, thank you.
Brian Samara says it too. Brian Samara in the chat from BCI. Here watching a road course. You know, Jesse, Brian hates road courses. I'm shocked he's even watching tonight.
I was going to say, that's a very Brian Samara thing to do, to be tuned into a stream and not say a single word until it's something about a racing league. Instant with the answer. He's probably been in here for the whole time and hasn't said a word.
He probably has, but, you know, he's probably a member himself of the Sports Car Club of America. Now that we know what it is, though, go with those wrong answers, ladies and gentlemen. In case my broadcast colleague wants to jump down my throat again for some reason.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to keep finding reasons to. I mean, you called me out for my baldness, so I don't know if we are even. I feel like mine were less insulting. But as we see the 7 car of Logan Hamilton, he went off the track a little bit. Same spot a lot of these drivers have been going off the track. Right before that hairpin turn is the 30. I'd consider that one an off track. The 30 of Alex Penn. He's cutting this thing as close as he can. But that's why he's got the lead, folks. He's fast.
You know, can we bring up the pit board, Jesse?
You would like to see the Hutchinson Motorsports patented pit strategy board?
I can. I would love to. Look at this. So I see Heller. He ran 27 laps on one set of tires. We have 16 to go. So if he pit 9 laps to go, I don't think he can make it to the end. What do you think, Jesse? My math ain't mathing, really.
Yeah, we're going to have one more stop out of everybody that's up here in the front of the field. Of course, we were confused earlier. Let's check in on the 09 of Ken Robnett, see how he's doing right now. He's kind of in no man's land. According to the scoring, he's back here in 11th, but he came down already. He's taking his final pit stop of the race. He doesn't have to worry about coming to pit road again. He executed his stop well, took 4 tires, filled the thing up with fuel. But then you have Alex Penn in the 30. He is a road course ringer, by the way, which explains why he's out here dominating this thing, running these quick laps. But he's still got another stop to make. Thompson does, Mertes does. A lot of people have one more stop to go.
I just checked our show notes. It is around 17 laps on fuel. So 50% fuel in the cars this week.
To be honest with you, if it is 17 laps on fuel, the 09 of Robnett might be a little bit close. We'll have to stay tuned on how that situation works out for the 09, but surely he doesn't come down pit road there just to take tires. He had to have thought he was good on fuel.
Definitely so. Just a bit of a league fact. Jesse, if you've already said this, I apologize. I'm sure you'll correct me. This is the first time that the All-American Cup Series has raced at Sonoma in 2.5 years. So anybody in the field could be your race winner. Excuse me, anyone who wins would be the first winner of this track.
That is true. There's no repeat winners at Sonoma that are in this race tonight. So any driver that's won at Sonoma in the past in the All-American Cup Series could not make it tonight. But when it comes to the top road course performers, Christopher Heller usually has an average finish in the top 10. Nick Gowan, not able to make it tonight. He was in the chat earlier, but he's one of the more consistent road racers, along with Stephen Miles. What was the setup news you got for me, Christian? Spill the beans.
They are running the same setup that Robbie Gordon won in the actual 2003 Sonoma race.
That is pretty neat.
It's
I didn't even know Robbie Gordon won that race, but if the setup was good enough for it to be a race-winning car, I wonder how it translated to iRacing. I'd almost like to test it next to the default iRacing setup to see if it's like substantially better or not. That's kind of a fun fact. Responding to Zizzo145 in the chat, listed as out the 09. Yeah, it did list him as out. That is an issue with the fact that this is a big track and there's a lot of cars. It's hard to keep track of everybody. Basically what happens is iRacing does not render the car and therefore it thinks it's not there. So I don't think there's anything on my end I can do to correct it. I do have all my graphics settings set to draw the maximum amount of cars. iRacing just doesn't feel like it. Speaking of that, Brian in the chat, BMC53 Rocks, he's the one that basically explained to me last time when I was trying to fix it that there wasn't anything I could do, unfortunately. I do assure you, though, that the 09 is still out there on the track somewhere. Hopping back out front with Alex Penn, the driver of Fast Things. You start to wonder when the 30 is going to think about taking that last pit stop. If
Yeah,
I'm
with
being
13 laps to go.
It's in
Yeah,
the pit
13 laps
window.
to
He
go.
can.
He can, but like it's gonna be painful, you know, like especially if you can't jump or pit and stay ahead of Robnet. If Robnet could even make it to the end.
In my personal opinion, it is going to come down between the 09 and the 30 car. It's just hard to tell who has the real advantage right now with Robnet making that pit stop so early. It's hard to tell who's going to come out on top of this thing at the moment. Take a look back here. A couple laps ago, Mauricio Montenegro out of Chile reported us going off the track. Looks to be in the same corner. Yeah, this corner is getting tore up by these drivers. You can see it almost looks like mud where that corner's been driven through so much. It's not an easy corner to keep your car on the track. I had the same issue with the next gen car here. You just want to push it because it's such a wide open corner, and all of a sudden you've pushed too much.
Yeah, I think I totaled the car right there during the race.
It can sneak up on you, man. You hit it the same way 3 or 4 times, and you hit it the 5th time and just a little off, and all of a sudden you're looking at a whole tire pack and, you know, thinking, please God, don't do this. Let me get back on the track, please.
You know, one thing I noticed, and I just happened to notice, I'm not sure how long ago it was, Alex Penn took the fastest lap away from Ken Robnet and is constantly turning faster laps to him. So he's gaining on that margin if there is one still. He might be your race leader even after pit cycles.
Yeah, according to my timing and scoring here, both Robnet and Penn with the best lap of 117.17. So both these guys, the class of the field, but the man in second place right now, Justin Thompson, his best lap was a 117.23. So the 3 car is no slouch. I just don't think he has got the speed to compete with the 30 of Alex Penn as we take a look here at the lap time history. You can see there the margin between Thompson and Penn. Alex Penn gaining a steady 2 to 7/10 a second, or a lap, I would say, on Justin Thompson in that 3 car. So Thompson is quick, but he's going to have to find more speed than that if he wants to have anything to say to this race leader. Zachary Mertes out of Wake Forest still holding on to the 3rd spot. No contenders trying to take that spot away from the 26. 63 of Curtis White having no issues in 4th, but looks like Logan Hamilton in the 7 starting to knock on the door here, trying to take over that 4th spot. He does. The 7 takes over that spot now, gets past the 63 of White. Heard a little tidbit on the radio. Thank you from Logan Hamilton. The 63 may have let the 7 by there.
Definitely appears that way. You know, we're missing the 77 tonight. I think both cars of that team are out of it. I haven't seen anybody from, you know, they say they're from Wilmington, North Carolina on their hometown. I ain't seen them tonight.
I was
Must
gonna
not be
say,
road course fans.
usually you see hometown Wilmington, North Carolina a lot during these All-American Cup Series races, but none of those guys showing up tonight. I'm pretty sure Nick Gowan is one of those drivers, but he apparently, according to the chat way on back, was he didn't make it in time, so he's watching from the stands here. As Alex Penn, one of the road course ringers making a start tonight, has real potential with 9 laps to go to win this race. It might not start another race all season, but he has the real chance to take home a W here.
In the most beautiful car of the field.
Another thing to mention about the road course ringers is the guy in third, Zachary Mertes. He's substituting for Luke Strayer in that 26 car. Strayer, usually the driver of that 26 machine, decided to give up his seat. Zachary Mertes is like the Boris Said, I would say, of the league, driving somebody else's car and doing great things with it, while you got Alex Penn in the 30, who's on pit road now. Maybe more the Shane Van Gisbergen type, where he's good enough he gets his own ride.
Let's keep an eye on Ken Robnett right now. He's in the 6th position before this pits. Where is he at on track?
We will certainly keep an eye on the 09 of Robnett coming down towards the hairpin.
He's going to jump a race leader possibly. The race leader's rolling. Let's see the exit. Race leader is out. He is on the track. He was able to hold off Ken Robnett. That might be your race winning move right there for Alex Penn with only 8 laps to go. Everyone else has to pit around them.
I was going to say it. Penn is a shocking amount ahead of Robnett here. Yeah, he's
that was
your,
that you know,
former race leader in the 09 now.
You know, I think the trophy guys had already, you know, bolted Ken Robnett's name to the trophy, but I seen the guy, you know, sneaking out the screwdriver. They're gonna have to change the nameplate. Alex Penn might be taking us home. 8 laps to go.
It seems to be the case, in my opinion. I certainly think that Penn going to be able to take this thing. Looks like Zachary Mertes has made his way into the 2nd spot. Mertes running some quick laps. I don't think he's going to have anything for the 30 car with 8 to go. This thing might be signed, sealed, and delivered. Alex Penn, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's going to have this thing, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Sears Point 175 at Sonoma Raceway. Next week, we take it to the high banks of the Super Speedway, Talladega, to Talladega 249. After that, we're going to Pocono, followed by Charlotte, and then we're finishing off this season in Darlington.
Talladega. Make me think of a wonderful song there by Eric Church. Alex Penn
it's a
gets by
wonderful
the
song,
12.
but your reminiscent of it right there was not wonderful.
Yeah, I guess I'll stick to my day job. This isn't even my day job.
No, we don't know what we're doing. Oh, Alex Penn drifting it around the turn. Thankfully saved it.
Man, he's clipping every single curb here. I don't know if I would be taking any sort of extra risk right now with a 6-second lead, 7 laps to go. Let's see if we get a replay here. It looks like Lilith Peters may have went off track. Let's see what happens to the 01. Just kind of looks like it gripped the dirt there and just kind of hooked left, able to keep it going though. We check on Curtis White, similar situation in the 63. Looked to be the same exact corner in my opinion. It was. Both drivers continuing, no issues.
6 laps to go here at Sonoma, the Vineyard. Alex Penn gonna be drinking the wine tonight, possibly. I'm gonna put the cart before the horse, and if the commentator's curse comes out, so be it.
Well, and this is iRacing. Who knows if Alex Penn is even old enough to have any wine?
True,
we don't know. We don't know his age. It could be the Zillich.
Connor Zillich drunk the Sonoma apple juice.
Absolutely. I freaking
You know
love
what?
apple juice. I would 100% rather have apple juice than wine. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, wine. I've only had one wine that I enjoyed. I can't tell you the name of it. It was on the cruise ship, and I had way too much of it.
You had a dangerous amount.
A dangerous amount. About halfway through, so what it is we were doing the chef's table experience. So, a fancy dinner, and this is the first time I've ever tried wine that I like. And the lady next to me taps me on the shoulder. She's probably an old grandma. She says, "Honey, you're supposed to be sipping that." And, I've been just drinking it like a normal drink, and I'm like, sipping it. What do you mean? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Just trying to be respectful. And about 5 to 10 minutes later, I learned what she meant. You're supposed to be sipping it.
Absolutely. He's talking about a chef's table experience. At least it wasn't a pool table experience as we check out Zachary Mertez in the 26, substituting for Luke Strayer, if I got that name correctly. I did. I nailed it. Good job, me. Getting some good points for that 26 car. Justin Thompson holding down the third spot.
Jesse, you mentioned the pool table. I'm gonna need to speak to you after this broadcast, buddy. We're gonna go rounds, yeah?
I don't know why we're airing out dirty laundry here on the broadcast, but with 5 to go here at Sonoma, which I just noticed it says Nashville. Let's fix that one. That was last week. Or that was a couple weeks ago, honestly, wasn't it?
Yep. Drinking all this. The winter's gonna be drinking this wine. They'd hate to be speaking Spanish in the hotel room. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is all inside jokes between me and Jesse. I promise you we are taking personal shots at one another, and y'all have no idea.
This is supposed to be entertainment. We gotta stop. We gotta get it together here. As Ken Robinett in the 09, after dominating most of this race, he's back here in the 4th spot. We'll see if he's able to get by either of these drivers in front of him, but as we fill out the top 5 with Logan Hamilton in that 7 car, Indian Trail, North Carolina, says, "I'm trashing the bio." Well, you're not trash enough to... You're bringing home a top 5, so I think there's about 35 people that are more trash than you right now, buddy. Mitchell Mark appears to have went off track. He was off track for about 12 seconds. Let's see what happened to the 41. Or the 28, I'm sorry.
Just doing some off-road racing. Mitchell Mark from Chicago. I wonder if he's happy for the Chicagoland return.
I mean, he's just being respectful, staying out of the way of everybody, not wanting to impact anyone's race. Let's get a lap check on Mitchell Mark. How many laps down is that 28 car?
That would be 11 laps down. As he's pulled into the pits, he might be done.
I do not know why the timing and scoring is saying that Alex Penn has hit pit road. He is not. He is still leading the way here with 3 laps to go. And there's a bit of a battle brewing for that 2nd spot now between Zachary Mertez and Justin Thompson. We'll see if that 3 car is able to capitalize and get into that 2nd spot. Let's ride on board with the 3 of Thompson.
On board with Justin Thompson here as he's trying to get to the bumper of the oath. There's going to be the 26 in front of him, Mertez. Going through the S's, he's just got to get... Oh, as Mertez gets a little loose.
Oh, he hooks him!
He turns him! He hooks him right into the wall! Oh, my, we saw it here live! Ladies and gentlemen, the 26 is junk at the hands of Justin Thompson.
Luke Strayer is at home shaking his fist right now. All those points that Zachary Mertez was getting him could have went down the drain there. He's back to 4th, about to get passed for 5th by... Actually, I think that could be off. I think Robinett's ahead of him already. Yes, he is. So Logan Hamilton there passing him. Going to put Mertez back down to the 5th spot. What a change. Justin Thompson not afraid to take that spot dirty.
The 26 just got a little loose off center, and I don't know if Thompson could have lifted or wanted to lift, but he just sent him on around. Get out of my way, loser. You're slow.
Yeah, right as I was about to ask you to get the drone out there, Let's see if we can get that drone following the 26 as he tries to get some positions back. Let me know when you're in position here.
I am right there. See, here I am. I'm going to follow him down the straight chute here towards the back half of the track. I'm going to do the turn around here. Make sure I don't crash this thing. We're down a couple of them already.
Yeah, I almost lost one last night. Able to keep it together.
Yep, the batteries are getting low. I'm going to have to bring it in, Jesse.
All right. That was the HMS TV drone shot. We'll switch to the HMS TV blimp cam, the most beautiful blimp cam in the business. Every time we show it is half a payment towards it, thanks to all you beautiful fans.
Absolutely. But we are on the Hutchinson Motorsports TV White Flag Lap. Your race leader, Alex Penn from Burlington, Connecticut. He is the go-kart driver. He's not driving a go-kart tonight. He is driving the Gen 4 car here in the All-American Cup Series at the Silver. Excuse me, the Sills Point 175. Bringing it around the track one final time.
This blimp is so far up in the air, you would think you'd be able to see second place, but you can't see Justin Thompson on your screen at all right now. That's how big of a lead the road course ringer Alex Penn has right now on that 30 machine. Justin Thompson in no man's land right now. Ken Robnett able to reclaim the third spot. Still going to walk away with a podium after dominating this race early. Logan Hamilton by himself in fourth, and Zachary Mertez went from running second place. Now he's letting people by here for fifth. Casey Carrington going to get in the top 5 here in that 9 car.
Definitely gave him some damage, but our race leader, Alex Penn, through the hairpin for the final time. Here at Sonoma, giving it a little sick drift there. Don't throw it away too early. I know you want to celebrate, but wouldn't it be something if you just put it right in the wall? Your race winner, Alex Penn.
Congratulations to Alex Penn in that 30 car. Justin Thompson going to take that second spot. A little bit of controversy there. We'll see what happens with that. Ken Robnett going to cross for third. Logan Hamilton gets fourth. Robnett almost gave the spot to the 7 there. And Casey Carrington bringing home the top 5. Once again, congratulations to Penn. He's going to do a burnout here, potentially.
I just got news that Ken Robnett wheel got unbolted from the desk, so he was having to hold his wheel with one hand and drive with the other. So he's lucky he finished where he did.
I could not imagine trying to race here at Sonoma like that. That's sketchy.
You know, Jesse, all week this week, we've, witnessed these races while Blake's out of town, me, you, in the booth 3 nights in a row. This is our third and final night of the week. I think if we added all of the first and second gaps together, we'd have over 20 seconds. Just been a dominating week for the 3 series here. Each driver solely earned it, as Alex Penn going to be doing a burnout over the Toyota sign where there's no Toyotas even in the field.
Definitely, for a race with a single yellow, it was definitely still action-packed. I had a blast broadcasting this race. Kind of surprised me. I thought at the beginning it was going to be a bit of a dud, but there was a lot of action with those final laps, and definitely had a good time tonight. We got any of our drivers available to be talked to here tonight, our podium finishers? Anybody ready for an interview?
I'm looking for Ken Robnett right now as we speak. Give me 1 second. I need to mute the race chat. They're having a good old conversation after the race. Ken Robnett, I found him. Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher here tonight. Dominated half the race, but it sounded like he had some equipment struggles. Ken, this is Christian and Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy? Your mic's muted if you got a copy. Ken, one last time. Do you have a copy for us?
You can put him up in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and get Justin Thompson.
Justin, Christian, and Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Welcome in. You got the second place finish here tonight. Ran a good race overall. Had a little bit of contact there towards the end. How do you feel about your second place?
It was definitely a hard fought second place. Didn't wasn't really comfortable with the car when we unloaded, so took about most of the race and most of practice to get used to it. I mean, I could lay down a semi decent heater and qualified good. Track position was key, so that helped. And then as I was going through the race, I was trying to follow Alex and trying to follow Ken. I just couldn't keep up with Ken. I don't know what happened to him at the end, but he was just like, I don't know. I mean, it's like he didn't exist after he had to pit after the caution.
I
So
heard that his wheel got unbolted from his desk and he was practically driving with one hand trying to hold on to it. So
well,
that's
if
what
he was driving one handed, he's a better man than me.
happened. Absolutely. Jesse, you got any questions for Justin here?
Yeah, I just want to say congrats on back-to-back podiums. You won, from what I understand, pretty dominant fashion last week. I mean, it was a pretty close race between you and Carrington, but you came out on top and finishing second here. I'm pretty sure you were getting a podium regardless, but as mentioned, did get into the 26 a little bit. Was that just a matter of he got a little loose and you didn't have a time to react, or what happened there in your perspective?
Um, from what I could see in the car, he spun them. I had laid down a heater the lap before. I had found something on the older tires on the lap before, and I'd caught back up to him, and he was making a lot of mistakes and buzzing the tires in front of me. And coming out of that kind of semi hairpin turn to get into the S's, it's like he just lit them up again, shifting into third to get into the S's, and I did not have time to react. I was right on his bumper.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the second place finish tonight. Before we send you back, do you have any shout outs you want to make tonight?
Uh, Casey and everybody here at All American Cup Series, appreciate y'all putting on the season. Um, Fun place to come race every Thursday. You guys for broadcasting and coming on last minute before the season started to broadcast our races. We appreciate it here. Gives us something to go back and watch. They're definitely entertaining to go back and watch. All the guys at Cornerstone Motorsports giving me the confidence to keep coming out here.
All right. Well, thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Congratulations on the P2 finish tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You as well.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Justin Thompson, your P2 finisher. Like I said, that was second place, but we're going to go back down the list at third place. Ken, this is Christian Jesse in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir. I hear you. How you doing?
Doing good. After a third place finish, I overheard you in the race chat saying that you had some misfortune with your race setup. How was that driving with one hand at Sonoma?
Oh, yeah. Talk about a handful. That's why I ended up having to dive in the pits because I was on the verge of wrecking both me and Alex, and I didn't want to take us both out. Ended up having to take tires too, so it kind of screwed up my whole game plan. Tried to use the time to get my wheel clamped back to the desk because I race in a hotel on a little DD1 clamped with an aluminum bar to the hotel desk, so it's pretty rigged up. And road courses, sometimes it yanks off, and so unfortunate. I felt like I had that one in the bag, but you know what? Alex was well deserving of the win. He definitely kept me honest.
One thing I could say is shout out to that hotel Wi-Fi. I wouldn't expect that, Jesse. You got anything for our third place winner or third place finisher here tonight?
Yeah, you were the talk of the show the first, I'd say, half of this race, and we had that. I guess you could call it a promoter's caution almost. It was a prearranged caution. No one knew the lap except the man here, Christian Taylor, in the booth with me. If that doesn't come out, obviously we don't know if your wheel comes off the desk or not. But do you think you would have had this one locked down if it would have just stayed green?
In all honesty, it was bound to happen. If it was only a matter of time. I don't think going down pit road affected it too much, but yeah, caught a curve a little bit too much, and like I said, it's a DD1, so it's pretty strong, and it just yanked it right off.
That's unfortunate, but Congratulations on battling your way back to P3. I still think that's a heck of a drive for you.
Yeah, it popped off the second time, so I was just trying to make it through the race, holding it with one. I was holding kind of across my chest with my right hand and driving with my left. Kind of made some upshifts, kind of awkward. Ended up having to short shift a lot just to try and make it through.
Well, that's all I've got for you tonight, Christian. Unless you have anything, let's go ahead and hear your shout-outs for tonight.
Yeah, truthfully, I'm a small single car team, so I don't really have a whole lot of shout outs. Maybe Kyle Gray, he's a buddy that always tends to work with us on different lines and whatnot. So shout out to Kyle Gray. But beyond that, single car team, let's go.
All right, congratulations, finishing P3. Wish it probably could have been a P1, but sometimes it's not meant to be. A podium's still a podium. Congratulations.
Hey, it's racing.
Absolutely.
All right. That was Ken Robnett, your third place finisher here tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your race winner here at Sonoma. Alex Penn, in that 30 machine, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Welcome in. Congratulations on your race win here at Sonoma. How do you feel after that one?
Pretty awesome. I mean, coming in here and racing with these guys every once in a while when I get the opportunity it's always a blast. Everybody races clean, and I mean the level of competition is always tough for sure.
Absolutely tough racing out there, with the scheduled / unscheduled. Didn't know when it was coming. Caution. Did that change your strategy up at all when it flew?
Other than having a lot of luck on my side to bring me back up to Ken there, not too much, honestly. I kind of knew that if anybody wanted to try a fuel save, it probably wasn't going to work just because, of where the yellow may get timed. But yeah, you were just kind of helping me with the luck aspect of it.
Definitely so. One last question before I send it over to Jesse. Did you hear anything about Rob Nett's misfortune with his wheel?
Yes, I did, and that's like I said, another piece of the luck. I mean, he was absolutely gone before that yellow came out. I had no shot of catching him. He was fast as heck today.
Yep. I don't think I could have drove over one wheel. I know Jesse said he couldn't, but nonetheless, Jesse, what do you have for our race winner here tonight?
Yeah, just the first thing being you started the race, I believe, in fifth, if that's correct, and you kind of had to battle through the traffic ahead of you, and you finally got into the second place spot, and it seemed like you and Rob Nett were kind of trading lap times. It almost seemed like, and as soon as the caution, I had forgot completely about the caution, and as soon as it came out, I was super excited. I remember saying that we might get to see the battle we've been wanting to see for the last 15 laps or so, because you guys were trading lap times, and unfortunately, Rob Nett had those issues and still ended up getting the win there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just as excited as you guys were, especially when he came back to me. I think he had pulled second and a half before he had lost that wheel. But I was pretty excited about it, and I mean, it was still fun having the battle with him about 4 seconds apart before that first set of pit stops or so.
I don't know if you remember it, but he he almost caught me off guard in the booth on that restart. He hit the gas real quick, and I think he caught you sleeping by quite a bit there.
Yeah, the second I watched him go out wide, I just knew. I mean, I'm not gonna match him on that restart. He's outside of my vision and everything, and I almost debated turning out there to go with him, but thought I might do him and didn't want to risk it. But yeah, no, he absolutely nailed that restart. The initial start he seemed to pretty nail. I should have kind of expected it with he took the same line on the initial start. But yeah, he's got a good jump there.
I guess the last thing for you that I've been curious about pretty much since the beginning, what's the story with the paint?
Just first time really racing the Gen 4 in much of a league here, and figured throw something funny together.
It definitely had that effect. It looked like the paint bucket just got clicked on each part of the car, and it comes out to be a masterpiece. But you got any shout outs you want to make taking home the first place tonight?
Yeah, for sure. The guys over at Cornerstone Motorsports, they taught me how to drive here on these ovals. Skip Barber Racing School, they taught me how to drive the road courses. You guys for throwing on the broadcast, and Casey for throwing the whole league together for us all.
All right. Well, congratulations once again taking home the win. Alex Penn. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was your race winner, Alex Penn, here tonight. Just want to talk about a storyline that I just saw in the chat. Zachary Martez, he was the sub driver racing tonight with a broken back. He says he broke his back while racing his legend car at the Charlotte Motor Speedway during the Cookout Summer shootout this year. Broke his T3 and T4 vertebrae out there racing, bringing home the 6th position. Man, what a story there.
Yeah, that is intense. I can imagine it's not easy to drive after a situation like that, but he did a great job out there. I think I don't know if he had second lockdown because Thompson was catching him quick. Who knows what could have happened if it would have stayed clean, but nonetheless, Mertez with a hell of a drive tonight, substituting for Luke Strayer. Getting some good points for that 26 car, but is there anything else you got before we end it off here tonight, Christian?
Just one last thing on that topic we were just talking about. If with that being in mind, I'm never going to complain about how uncomfortable my race seat is again. But, yep, ladies and gentlemen, that was your Sonoma race there. Your Sears Point 175. Join us back next week here in the All-American Cup Series at the High Banks of Talladega. Jesse, I can't wait.
Talladega is sure to be a blast. I know Daytona was, so basically running it back there. But before we get back to Talladega in this All-American Cup Series, next week we got Tuesday ARCA and the Stars and Stripes League at Homestead, Miami, and then Wednesday night's going to be ARCA at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Not the new one, the old one with the Superstar ARCA West Series. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're still here tuned in. It means a lot to us for every like and every subscribe. Check out the Discord, link is in the description. That's where you can find all the news and events, such as in a couple weeks we've got the Slinger Slaughter. It's going to be a figure 8 race at Slinger Motor Speedway. It's sure to be a good time. That one's going to be broadcasted. $5 to enter, $50 if you win the dang thing. And you don't even have to be fast. You can get $10 if you rack up the most incident points out of anybody in the session. So that's sure to be chaotic and a whole lot of fun. Check that out. Join the Discord. But we're going to be signing off here. For Christian Taylor, I'm Jesse Becker in the booth. Thank you for tuning in this week while I've been covering for Blake Hutchinson. And he should be back in the booth, the GOAT Blake Hutchinson, back in the booth next week. So stay tuned for that. But on that note, have a wonderful night, and thank you for watching.
Jordy Shuttle Richter Johnson, checkered flag in the air, Scott Richter wins it!
Oh, and there he goes, hard into the inside wall, Hibbs is involved, Tyler Whittemore, he's in the middle of the track, he's gonna get stuck again!
He's junk! LaFrance shows up blocking his turn! Rosenberg takes the lead, they're all junk in it! The entire field is junk! Oh, and Andy Taker Johnson! Oh, and it gets collected!
Oh, and he goes around 78. Oh, hard into the pit wall. He's dead. He is dead.
Cleared out of 3 and 4 for the final time. Matthew Wiggins, first race back, missed last week, but here he is taking the checkered flag here winner.